what's up, YouTube? This is King Geo in the house. What's up? This is King Geo in the house. All right. Okay. Got my AC connected. Huh? Okay. Now, the title of this topic today, turn this off, is Justice for All. And I said not. Um, if you guys were with me earlier today, or if you've seen it in the video today, or when you do see a video today, um, I interviewed a young woman whose daughter, Amia Braxton, was run over a few years ago in 2016. And to this day, this happened in Mississippi, by the way. And to this day, there have been no charges. There have been two grand juries, and there have been no charges. And this case took me akin. And then as I was reading more, I saw more and more kids being killed by either drunk drivers or cars or whatever the case may be. And it's just astonishing how truly there's basically no justice in the system to when it comes to kids. There's no justice. That picture that you see on my thumbnail, that picture is, I'm going to show you who he is. His name is Caden Waldorf. His mother is Teal. Her name here somewhere. How we do for you now? They're from the state of Michigan, and Michigan. Let me tell you something. Michigan is having her mother's name is Teal Waldorf, and this young boy that you see on my thumbnail, he was in an accident with his father, and the person who was driving the car that had the accident had alcohol and THC, which we all know is marijuana, in the system. The gentleman refused the breathalyzer, and when they did a warrant, for the blood work, it was the 5 hours later. It said that the alcohol was out of the system, but yet he was under the influence. They charged him with OWI, and whatever that means in the state of Michigan, and they gave him, from what I understand from this, because they have a GoFundMe page. So if you guys want to go to this GoFundMe page and do his full GoFundMe page, please do so. Also, Amaya has a GoFundMe page. I will get that and I will put it under my link too, so you guys can go to Amaya's page, GoFundMe page. And then this little boy's accident, the driver, all he got was 1 year. 1 year of driving under the influence. Just 1 year. And yet, they didn't charge me for manslaughter. They didn't charge me for anything. And that makes you wonder, each state is different. And the state of Michigan is coming to suck. What's in Michigan, Mississippi, they're going to be coming to suck. I mean, I have a friend of mine whose son went with his wife, or his baby's mother went to Michigan, and at that time they were using drugs, and so the mother left the baby, the mother left my friend's grandchild with some friends. After a few days of not coming home, the friends called CPS. CPS came and got them. So instead of CPS in Michigan calling my friend in New York and letting her know, say, listen, your grandchild is here, you can call the next kid, come pick up your child or your grandson. They didn't do that. They fostered the child. So now she's going through a legal battle in Michigan to get her child back, to get her grandchild back. Now the mother's involved. At first they took the custody away. Now the mother's back involved into the case, which is a good thing. But it was just the lack of human empathy is astonishing. I mean, protocol states that you call the next of kin. You don't foster the child. And then now the foster parents want to adopt the child. And this child knows his mother-in-law. This child knows the grandmother. And CPS in New York did a house check on my friend. She passed with flying colors. They did a house check. Michigan CPS did a house check on her also. But when they was gonna do when the caseworker of CPS in Michigan was going to submit her report, she got fired. She got taken off the case. What a coincidence is that? And now I'm seeing this case of Caden, and I see other cases, and I see that Michigan's law is horrible, and then Mississippi's law, it's even worse, because here you got a girl, Mia, who has died. And by the way, I did call the district attorney's office. I'm waiting for him to give me a call, if he gives me a call, because I want to see if he gives me a talk, because there's certain things that I don't understand, and I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand, how is it that you fail to get an indictment on one person, on two different indictments? I mean, not two different indictments, two different grand juries. How is that possible? Now, here is a little girl who's standing in her driveway, and she gets run over by a woman who happens to be white, which I didn't want to say that, but happens to be white. Ami is black, and there is no justice. And then the district attorney comes with his lame excuse that it was hard. It's not hard. It really, to indict someone is not hard. The lack of you trying, that's hard. And it's embarrassing. It really is when you live in a society, when you live in a society that you don't see justice. You see justice for the rich. You see justice for everybody. But when it comes to that, when you're poor in America, it happens to be that you have no justice at all. And this is the country that we live in. This is the country that this is the land of the free, home of the brave. That's a whole different story. But yes, we stand to believe that if something was to happen to us, we have that justice would be by our side. That's what they say. Allegedly, this allegedly happened. This allegedly happened. Okay, this allegedly happened. But when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, I mean, it's just embarrassing. It's an embarrassment in all levels. When things happen, whether it happened to a black or it happened to a white, it doesn't matter. But you see it mostly happening to minorities. And in this case, Tia Waldorf is not a minority. She's white. And in her case, this gentleman only received a year. A year, guys. What a year! What is the year supposed to do? Nothing. And these are the cases that we don't see. These are the cases that we're supposed to see, because it opens your eyes as to how the justice system is in America. We implemented a justice system as England, and I think that their justice system is a little bit far more perfected than ours, unfortunately. That is an unfortunate thing to say. And it's and I see more and more, and it's just, it saddens me. And it's not just Amia. It's a lot. I've seen that just saw like 5 different cases where kids have passed away because of the drunk drivers, or because someone didn't swerve. Someone swerved to the right. It's just mind-boggling. But we have to do something about it. We have to, in Amia's case, the only person that came to her attention, to her aid, was Reverend Jesse Jackson. Everybody had backed out. The Reverend Hull, Hull, has also helped out in Mississippi. Hopefully I can get a interview with him. Always good to have a Reverend. Guys, if you ever go to the store You want to taste real apple juice? This mark right here, that's real apple juice right there. Never seen it in New York. Never seen it anywhere. I moved down here, and it tastes like real apples. The only thing that with these things is that the high concentrated on sugar. This has 28 grams. If it could have been a little bit less than 20, that would have been good. But yes, so we have to, as a country, we have to put together, no matter how small it is. I mean, if we can rally, on a person shooting a black person, if we can rally when anything happens to from a police officer, anything that a police officer does, if we can rally to that, we should rally to this. We should rally. It doesn't matter whether you're black or white. What matters is that we're rallying as a country. We're rallying together as one. That's what we are. We are a country of one. Robin Hood faces SEC probe. Whoever got money in Robin Hood, be careful. That doesn't mean anything. Investigation is just an investigation until proven otherwise. So we have to come as one, and that's where unity comes from. We're a country of unity. We're the United States of America, united. We are united as one. So it doesn't matter whether you're black. It doesn't matter whether you're white. It doesn't matter if you're green. It matters in blue. It just matters that we are here together, united. And that's the way. That's the way I want people to remember us. That we are a nation of empathy. We're a nation of sympathy. We're a nation who cares. We're a nation that we have all these good qualities, but do not mess with us. That's what we should be all about. But when you see these kind of things going on, when you see these things that you see, how can a person do this? And I'd be like, wow, you be shocked. It's just amazing. How, my uncle, I tell you how justice is. My uncle in Puerto Rico, he was drunk and got into a fight. Not a fight, he was drunk. And 3 guys beat him up. And when he hit the ground, his head hit the sidewalk. His ears blew up. He went to the hospital. The hospital, when he went to, they said, we don't attend alcoholics to the emergency room. This is what the emergency room said to him. I was not there. Had I been there, I would have sued the shit out of them. So I was not there. I would probably beat the crap out of the doctor. On this, so we took him to what's called Centro Medico. And then there, they put him in a coma. And he lasted like a month or so. And then they took the ventilator off because he said he had no hope. I thought he did because when I was watching him overnight, I stood there one night. I saw his feet move. I saw his hand move. But his brothers wanted to remove him. But the point here is that these people, these 3 kids, I don't know, they're teenagers. They're probably 18, 19 years old, who caused the death of my uncle because of the punch, but the hit when he hit my uncle fell down. He was drunk, or whatever the case may be. He hit the sidewalk. The sidewalk punctured his ear, whatever it was, but the punch was the cause. So they gave these kids 3 years of probation. 3 years of probation. In Puerto Rico, if they catch you with a bag of marijuana, which is maybe $5, $8, a bag of marijuana, or they catch you with a blunt or joint or whatever the smallest amount, if they catch you with this much weed, this is a foul, but this is more light. But if they catch you with this much weed, you're doing an automatic 3 years in prison. 3 years in prison. And Puerto Rico doesn't have county jail. No, Puerto Rico does not have that. Puerto Rico has straight to prison. You go from the courthouse. You go from the police precinct. You go straight to prison. There is no county jail where you get bugged. You get numbered. You get classified. No, you go straight to prison. And Puerto Rico has 15 different prisons. So you can go to Bayamón, you can go to San Juan, you can go to Ponce, you can go everywhere, Guayama. And so you go straight there. So there is no stop and go at county jail because there isn't. So you get 3 years, no quicker. That is the law. You get 3 years automatic for possessing that small amount of marijuana. A person who killed someone during a fight, and that fight ensued, and then through that fight caused the death of someone, only gets 3 years probation. and you think then you wonder what the hell. So is it worth it? You know, and if you dig more into our justice system, and if you dig more, I bet you if I dug into the John Wendell, the district attorney, I will find out that he has probably indicted people with less proof than what he did with Amir. I can guarantee you, I can look up and down, and I can find somewhere, and I do my research, I can find that this district attorney has indicted people with less evidence, but he can't indict the person who took away the life of Amir Braxton, because he said that the grand jury has a hard time. What hard time? And then he said that the law is up to interpretation. What interpretation? The law is the law, is the intent. And like I keep saying all this over and over again, they say it was the John Weddle said it's kind of hard to prove because there's no proof of texting or using the phone. Well, there is proof of something. Maybe not texting, but there's proof, because if this young woman, Karen Carpenter, that's her name, was driving, and there's also you have to be away 10 feet away from the bus. If she was driving, and this is just common sense, guys, you don't need no evidence for this. If you were driving and there's a bus in front of you, there's a car in front of you, and you're driving, you're here, and this bus stops or this car stops, apparently, if you're paying attention, you're going to stop behind that car. But if you don't pay attention, and we all know, we all been through this, that the minute you take off your hands off the road or your eyes, you go just go like this for a minute, for a quick second, you go like this, boom, the car's in front of you because you're rolling at 20 or 30 feet per second. So when you go like this, you swerve. That's a reaction. So you did this for a reason. You was not driving, slamming on the brake. That's not the brake. You was not driving. You went slow and then swerved because you wanted to swerve. Either something happens, you didn't want to be behind that bus, so you swerved. That's intent. Or you were talking on the phone, something fell, you did not pay attention, and something happened that made you swerve. Okay. She even, from when I spoke to his mother, she said that Karen even admitted that she probably fell asleep at the wheel. So, and Amir's mother said that the DA was trying to get murder charges. You're not going to get murder charges because murder charges is hard. For murder in the first degree has to have the intent that you want to kill someone, that you have it planned. It's planned. That so you got to get a plan. I want to go. When I get to his house, I'm going to go to his house. I'm going to choke the crap out of him and kill him. That's murder because that's called you already thought about it. You have it planned out. All right. That's murder. So you can't. That's murder in the first degree. Murder second degree is a second. It's a different degree. It falls on a different category. So to hit with any murder, that's ridiculous. To hit with vehicular manslaughter, then yes, or negligent homicide, yes, because your intent was not to kill that person, but through your actions, through your negligence. If you were asleep, then you should have just gone to sleep. You should have just stopped somewhere, taken a nap, stop at a gas station. But humans are humans, and we want to get there quick. So we're not going to go to a gas station. Let me take a little nap here. Some of us don't think like that. I do. Some of us don't think like, let me do. I can drive it off. A truck driver goes. I can drive. I have only 500 miles to go. I can push forward. But he hasn't slept in 2 days. But he wants to meet the quota. He doesn't want to fall behind. They don't. They think of that then, but they don't think of what if. As I'm driving, I'll fall asleep. What if, as I'm driving, my eyes daze and something happens? You never think of that. Those are the things that we gotta think. And like I said, it's sad. It's sad that we don't have justice for these young kids who have no voice. And I think that we should give these kids a voice. These district attorneys like John Weddle, he was appointed, he was voted in. If he's voted in, then he's supposed to be doing his job. I'm the type of person, if this happened to me, and you can prove to me that this was an accident, because I'm a very astute man, and you can prove to me that this was an accident, I would say, you know what, it was an accident. I forgive the person, Mr. Weddle. You did the best that you could, okay? But this was not an accident. I don't think it was an accident. And the girl was in her driveway, for God's sake. You know, this kid, and I hope, this kid, what was his name? Caden Waldorf. He was with his father. And a drunk driver came and hit him. The law is the law. You could. One of the reasons that people don't do a lot of breathalyzers tests is because the law states, you don't have to get it. That if it's not calibrated right, it can give you a wrong reading, and you don't want to get caught with a wrong reading because that's right. There's proof right there on this machine that you blew 0.8 or 0.10 or 0.20 or 0.20, whatever the legal age is, whatever the legal limit is in your state. So they refuse that. And once you refuse, that's the refusing. It's like saying you're guilty. But anyway, but you can fight it because you can fight it. You can always take a try. So you know what? They say that I had alcohol. Can they prove that I have alcohol, or just smell it on my breath? But that was from hours ago, and we all know alcohol stays in your breath for a long, long, long time. So there's a legality to it. So I can understand why no one wants to do a breathalyzer test unless But just consciously, someone you're supposed to go. You know what? I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to take the full brunt of the law. A child did die. I was under the influence, and let the chips fall where they may, and I'll take full responsibility for that. But people don't do that. People just don't. They think about themselves. So I would don't. I'm gonna find Jaden's. His GoFund page. I'm gonna put it down there too. Our mother sent it to me, which is a lovely lady. God bless her. She's a very strong woman. And we got justice. We got justice for Amia, organized by Tawanda Graves. That's a good thing. All right, so this is a GoFundMe, which I will do it. And people do this created July 6, 2020. Come on, if we can fund a fake homeless person in the street, we can fund Amia's family. This family had to leave the state of Mississippi because they were being threatened. They had to move to another state. Can you imagine? You have to move to another state because people are so close-minded that they don't know. They believe everything. They believe everything in the news. They believe everything that they hear. They believe everything. No, man. You have to come to your own understanding. You have to do your own research. So the Braxton family had to move from Mississippi to where she is now, which I'm not going to say that's her to say. If you see my video, she says it there. So they can find peace and quiet. And if there is if there's an attorney, or if you know of an attorney that does pro bono work and wants to do this out of the kindness of his heart, go do it in Mississippi. Take this lady's case. Let there be justice. On the case of Caden, sue. I would sue. Because you can't hit the guy with double jeopardy. You can't charge him with the same crime. The jeopardy, but you can charge him with another crime. Not that same crime. That was OWI, whatever that meant. Let me look it up, so I don't have to be confused anymore. OWI is an acronym for operating while intoxicating, referring to a legal charge for drunk driving. For the most part, the acronym that indicates a drunk driving charge, depending on the state in which you are driving. So DUI stands for driving under the influence, and OWI stands for operating while under the influence. Instead of Iowa, it's illegal to operate motor vehicles while under the influence of alcohol, and thus Iowa uses the acronym OWI. So now we know OWI is operating while under the influence, and DUI is driving under the influence. I guess I would say my biggest difference here is OWI operating while. If you're in an accident and you got caught, or you're standing still and the keys are in the car, you were operating while you were driving. And DUI is you were driving. I mean, I can see the difference, but still you're under the influence. And this guy hit this car, Caden's his father's car, and that's embarrassing. Just a year. And go to GoFundMe page me. I did sign a petition for Amia, so I'm gonna put that down there too. So I hopefully you guys can do the same. I'm gonna copy the link so I can put it in on this email with this video, with Amia's video, which I'm gonna do right now as I'm talking to you guys, because I understand that some of you are at work, some of you are not at work. You just don't care. Okay. The Amia Bryce's story. All right, so I'll go here. There's another link. Let me go to another link. And then I go to another link here so I can put down with Amia. That's another link. That's for the link. When you go to Amia, that's a link for her petition. Wow. Hit links below. So yeah, so put yourself in these mothers and fathers' shoes. They have to bury their kid. They have to bury their kid because someone was negligent, because someone swerved, and they don't want to take responsibility, or someone was drunk and they don't want to take a breathalyzer test because they don't want to face the charges. Come on, guys, it's just like robbing a bank. You rob a bank and you get shot. You shoot a cop, a cop shoots you, you get shot. What you expect? You get sentenced for 10 years in life. You get sentenced to 10 years. Don't blame the judge. Don't blame the cop. The cop is doing his job. Blame yourself. Number one, for getting caught now. Number one, for committing a crime. And you cannot get mad at the cop doing his job. You cannot get mad at the judge for doing his job. You cannot commend a DA for doing his job. Though DAs they're overzealous. I just saw a man who spent 29 years in prison. 29 years in prison. That was from last year. For a crime he didn't commit. Can you imagine being locked up in a cell for 29, not even a day or 2 days, but 29 years for a crime that you did not commit? And then the audacity of the state to say, I am sorry. There is no I am sorry there. Maybe the judge can say I'm sorry because he was not there, but it should this should go back a big, we say lawsuit because there's nothing else to do. These are district attorneys that are overzealous, that they overreach because they want a conviction. It doesn't matter who it is, as long as you can prove that. And it all goes bound by race, guys. We live in a country where race is everything. And that's unfortunate. The black and the white can do the same crime, but you're not going to see the same. You're not going to see the same guilty, non-guilty verdict. You're not going to see the same verdict. Period. The verdict is going to be different, and that's proof. And that is proof. So you don't have to. You don't even have to do anything about that. But it's a shame that that this man spent 29 years, and like I said, we say lawsuit. There's nothing to go back on. So we say lawsuit. So you sue the state. You sue the state. The state's insured, so they don't give a crap. The district attorney, he doesn't care because maybe that was 29 years ago. He's probably not even an attorney anymore. He probably retired, and he's doing either private work or just retired, doing his own little thing. But it amazes me. You know, what do you say to a person what do you say to a person who's been behind bars for 29 years or 30 years, or 35 years, 5 years, 2 years? You can't. Look at that young man who died. I think came out of Rikers. He was 2 years. 2 years in Rikers Island, and when he came out, he committed suicide. 2 years he didn't see no judge. He went to court. That must mean he must have had a sucked ass lawyer. I think it was Avery. I think the kid's name was. You know, he must have a sucked ass lawyer, because I personally I would have thrown in a motion, a 30-30 motion. Yo, I want my case seen now. I want my case seen now. So he must have had a horrible, horrible legal aid, because for you to be in Rikers Island for 2 years without seeing a judge, no. That does not work that way. I'm not going to blame their fault. I'm not going to blame the father, the family, because they don't know any better. But I will blame the justice system. Trying to look at something for you guys. It's my son sending me TikTok because my son dances. So I send him TikTok with girls or guys dancing. So I say, yeah, you got the rules, so he can get animated. But my kid's good. My son's good. He's waiting for this. Just waiting for all this pandemic to go away so he can get some. I don't know what he's trying to send me. I don't know. So yeah. So we live in a society where it's a color thing now. We always know that the rich gets away with anything. So it's a color thing. And it's sad. But yes, if there is a pro bono lawyer out there who's willing to, all lawyers can do pro bono. If there's any lawyer that would like to do any pro bono work in Mississippi on behalf of the Braxton family, please do so. Take that initiative and make this woman pay for whatever it is. I spoke to Ms. Braxton, and she doesn't want nothing big. She just wants justice to be served. She wants this woman to do what to serve. Like she said at the beginning, she wasn't, but now, now it comes to the point that you're angry. Think about it this way, guys. This is a woman, and not just her, families in general who have lost their kids. Won't be able to see their kids' birthdays. Won't be able to see their kids' graduation, their first cry, their first tooth fall out. Their first broken heart. None of those things will be able to see because of the neglection of someone else. Justice won't bring back Amia. Justice won't bring back Katie. Justice won't bring back the thousands of millions of kids who have passed away at the hands of idiot people. But it does close a void in you. It does, because it says, at least justice was done. At least maybe someone is going to take conscience into this. Someone may think twice before getting behind the wheel drinking. Maybe a person would think twice and say, you know what? If I'm tired, instead of me going, I'm only 10 minutes away. 10 minutes can seem it can seem a short time at that moment. But when you're tired, 10 minutes can last a lifetime. Well, maybe that person will think and say, you know what? Let me go to the side of the road. Let me put my flashes on. Let me spend 10, 20 minutes on the side. Let me relax a little bit. And boom, fine. I'll go on. I've done it. I've been in Puerto Rico. I come out of work at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm driving, and it was a 45-minute drive. Right there, when I got to like the 25-minute mark, I was tired. My eyes were closing. I said, no, I'm not gonna drive like that. So I pulled to the side of the road in San Juan, or between San Juan and Caguas. I stood it's called Road 52. I stood there like for an hour. I closed my eyes, slept there for an hour, and then got back up and took off. I wasn't gonna jeopardize myself. I wasn't gonna jeopardize others either because I wanted to get home. I want to go home, but I want to get home safe. You know. So what's so hard of that people just don't understand? You did something wrong. Take fault. Take responsibility. That's why we should sign the immediate petition. We sign the Caden petition. Sign these petitions so you can let the people know. Laws have to change. The Nathan law, which was in Amina's case, it states they're supposed to be 10 feet away from a school bus when they stop. 10 feet away. I've seen cars when the sign goes stop, boom, they just keep on going. This way or that way. It don't matter. And I'm like, oh God, can you just imagine a child coming out right there and you just decide to go like this? Because you can't stand for a few seconds behind a bus. That's how lazy you are. That's like when you drive in a car and the person in front of you decides to make a right and doesn't put a signal light in you're assuming that the person is going straight, and when that person makes a right and you're right behind them, sometimes you have to stop till that person's making a right without them letting you know that they're making a right. Something so simple as to flickering one little stick up or down. And mind you, this shit's right here. This is how close it is. It's right here. It's not here. It's not here. It's not, you're gonna go like this and shit. Click. No, it's right here. Flick. That's it. That's all it takes. But people they're lazy. They'll do it to you when they're taking the driver's test. They'll do it for you when they're doing the road test. They're great drivers. But when they get their road test, when they get their license, they're not the same. And that's a shame. So I want to make this week, I will do everything possible that I can so we can give voices to these kids, man. Give voices to the family, because it hurts me knowing that the Braxton had to move from Mississippi to another state because they were being threatened. Me personally, I don't play that game. You threaten me, we're gonna have a problem. I mean, you can threaten me all you want, just don't touch me. Words are just words, but it's a shame. It really is. So we have to put our priorities straight. We have to stop with this bullshit, Democrats, Republicans. We got more things in life to think about. Think about it this way. Right now, there's a child. Right now, there's a woman. Right now, there's a man. Right now, there's someone who's not eating because they don't have no food to eat. No money. They have no money to get food to eat. Right now, unfortunately, there's a woman being raped. Right now, there's a man or a woman being killed. Right now, someone's being tortured. Those are the things that we're supposed to be focusing on. How do we prevent these kind of things? Not who's going to be the next president. To me, it doesn't really matter because the next president is still going to be a puppet anyway. It's going to be a puppet for who? For the NRA, a puppet for the pharmaceutical companies. That's all it is. That's all they are, and that's all they ever will be. So let's make this. Let's make like I said, let's give these kids a voice. Let's make it look like that their life meant something. Even though Amia was 9 years old, her smile meant something to someone. Her giddy, her mother told me a good story. You should go back to my video and see it. And it's great. It's great, and it's kind of you took the life away maybe of the next president or the next virologist that could have discovered the cure for something that we still haven't done. We're taking the life away from so many kids nowadays that's not even funny. Missing children every day, human trafficking. It's just those are things that we're supposed to be concentrating on. Those are the things that we're supposed to be supporting. But we don't. We prioritize ourselves with other things. Oh, Biden's sleeping. Oh, Trump is lying. Oh, that doesn't matter, man. So let's do something for the kids of today, for this country and all around the world. Not just this country, but all around the world, who are being exploited, who are being abused, who are being kidnapped, who are being killed, who are being tortured, who are being raped. Let's put out our voices for them. Those are the ones that we got to look out for because they're our future. We're already grown. just think how these parents feel. Every day when they do dinner, they don't have their kids with them. They don't hear the voice. I remember my mother when she sent me to Puerto Rico when I was 10 years old, and I was supposed to spend the summer there. I was all cool. I was in my aunt's house, which wasn't that great because she lived in the mountains and there was nothing to do. I was the only guy there. No TV, no nothing. They had TV, but no games. My aunt is old fashioned. She's a Jehovah's Witness. So. And I lasted there a month because my mother wrote me a letter, an endearing letter saying, every time I cook, I always put an extra plate thinking that you're here. I miss you. I said, if you miss me, why'd you send me here? So I said, Mom, come pay for my plane ticket. And I came. And when I came to Puerto Rico, from Puerto Rico to New York, it was great because I met a beautiful lady by her name, Mary Pratt. Mary Pratt introduced me to Fernando Salaberry's father, who was a menudo. I met his brother, Fernando. Fernando and I became very good friends when we were kids. Now, it's been like 20 years I haven't spoken to the guy. Met Ricky Martin, met Charlie from Menudo, met Ricky, the Ricky. I met Ray. I never met Renee, but I met the Menudos from the 80s. And it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool that trip. But it is what it is, right? There's going to be... You're gonna see that in the debate. It is what it is. But yeah, so let's give these kids voices. Let's give all these kids voices. Let's give where there's justice to be served, justice needs to be served. Because justice is supposed to be equal. It's not supposed to be unilateral, where because you're rich and white, you get this, and when you're poor and black, you get this, or Hispanic, or whatever you want to call them, brown nowadays. You get this, justice shouldn't come with a price. Just because you have money and you get the best lawyers, you shouldn't do that. I think a lawyer's a lawyer. It depends how the lawyer applies himself or herself to his job or her job. If you're hungry, you go for it. I can see myself as a public defender beating the best EA there is in the world. I can see myself doing that because. Well, this is not my story. So anyway, I'm not going to say. I'll do another video because of that. But yeah, guys, so let's do this. So let's send the petition. Go to the GoFundMe page. Go into the Amelia GoFundMe page. Let's all give something. Let's all return because this life is short. We give what we get. God says, reap what you sow. So you reap good things. You reap good things will happen. And when you reap bad things, you will sow bad things. So we're here to help one another out. And yes, we are our brother's keepers, like the Bible says. So let's help each other out and let's show solidarity. That really does count. Let's show solidarity that we are a nation of care. We are a nation that we do care about people. We're a nation that no matter where you're from, what nationality you are, what religion you are, we still care. And we are here to help one another out. That's what being here is on earth. Because if I die today, God forbid it, but if I die today, I at least want people to say, you know what, King Gio did something. King Gio helped somebody else. King Gio's channel. My channel helped one guy out, and his name is J Jerk 2020. Helped him get away from opioids. He was down. He was hitting hard back in January. And between me and a couple of YouTubers on here, we convinced him. And he's been 8 months clean. Hasn't touched anything. And had a baby. So I said, congratulations. He says, King Gio, I love it. Thank you for helping me. I love being sober, which is great. I'm 7 years sober, and I feel fantastic. Fat, but fantastic. But other than that, let's just show. And I want to say thank you to those who have come to my channel. You mean a lot to me. I do want to say something, though. The other day I wrote to Omi, and I said, "Yo, what's up? What you doing? A lot of people want to know what you're doing." He had the audacity, but I'll do that. I'll do another video on that. But anyway, guys, thank you very much. Hopefully, you guys can sign the petition, donate. It's not that it doesn't cost anything to donate, right? You donate for other good causes, right? So donate for the media cause, donate for the kingdom cause. Let them know that we are out there. Amazon has the paper book on Braxton. God Works on Tuesdays too. It's on my first YouTube video. Go see that. It's great. It's a great book. You can do it in Kindle or you can do it paperback. I decided to do paperbacks. I like reading. I'm not into reading the Kindle book, and I want to support the family. Right? So there's nothing wrong. Like I said, you die today. What are you going to do? You could be a billionaire, and if you die today, you could be 20 years old, a billionaire. If you die today, what are you going to do? You can't take that money with you. So might as well splurge it out and let other people live off your wealth. Let other people know there are good people out there. You don't have nothing about buy a person a house, buy a person this, but let them know that you care. Let them know that there's still hope out there. All right, guys. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Watch all the videos, people. I got great content. I like the hat. If you guys want a hat like this, let me know. I'll get you one. I also got that white one right there. My wife got me that one. I also have a chain that she got me. It says Key Geo. So little by little, I'm getting the Key Geo stuff. All right. I don't sell them because I don't have that big of a subscriber base for me to sell them. The merch. But if I get 1 or 2 hats and someone wants it and I have it, I will give it to you. I don't care about that. I'm one person that doesn't really care about money. I bought this house. It's a small house. It's a beautiful house. And I don't need the luxury of houses. I'm happy with my wife. I'm happy with my kids. I'm happy with God. And that's what really matters. I don't need something big. At the end of the day, when I die, this becomes theirs. Hopefully that chain moves on. They can say, you know what, mom and dad got a house. I want to get a house. And then my grandkids say, my grandma, stuff like that. I don't think I'll see grandkids for a while because I'm 49 and none of them are giving me any, which thank God. I don't want grandfather yet. I'm too cute. Just kidding. Well, guys, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Well, thank you. And no, I'm not a vain person. No. All right, peace out. And remember that I also have Super Chat now. So you can always donate, and I always give out and I always pass it forward.